How are you with boundaries? I did a group call this morning and I asked the women in there, I'm like, how are your boundaries? Give me a thumbs up if they're good. Give me a thumbs down if it's still a struggle. And there was still a lot of thumbs down. So here's a video for you to help you create boundaries, because boundaries at work and at home, they are a form of self-care. So do you know how to hold a boundary so that you have more time and energy for the things that you want to do? It is so easy to take on more things that you'll know you're going to get them done, right? It's what high performers do. But you have to remember that there is a cost to you. You only have so much time and so much energy every single day. So what is it time for you personally to say no to? What are you doing for others at work and at home that isn't leaving you the time and energy for the things that you truly want to do? How do you feel when you think about drawing a boundary around this? Hi, I'm Lisa. As a spiritual medium and mindset and energy strategist, I'm often helping my clients get to the root of why they're struggling with holding boundaries that actually support them. When you set a boundary, you have to hold that boundary. Otherwise, you didn't set anything. I find that people will push themselves until they're at their breaking point. And while you can do it all for a short period of time, holding boundaries is essential for your self-care and will help you reclaim your time and energy that you're spending on things that aren't necessary. Let's dive in. Boundaries are self-care for you. If you find yourself struggling to set or hold boundaries, remember this. Boundaries are self-care. When you set and hold a boundary, you're giving yourself more time and energy to do other things. Things that you want to do. Self-care, things that bring you joy, things that recharge you. You're not a machine. You can't just keep going and going and going. Your time and energy are precious. By saying no to things that aren't a fit, and you don't need to give an explanation why, you give yourself more time and energy to do the things that are important to you. I say this a lot. Boundaries let others know what's okay and what's not okay for you. They don't know unless you tell them. There's no hinting. There's no I just know, so they need to know. You have to tell them. And when you set a boundary and hold it, you're making yourself a priority by freeing up some of your precious time and energy. So, how do you hold boundaries, physically and energetically? It's important to hold your boundaries in both ways. Some people may push them, and this is what you'll want to do when it happens. So first we're going to talk about physically holding your boundary. Physically holding your boundaries. You do this by actually telling someone no, out loud. You want them to know that this is a boundary. And today on my call, they were like, what are some ways to say that this is a boundary? You're just going to tell them and let them know. And the sooner that you can do that, the better. So today somebody had been waiting 6 weeks to tell somebody that they were talking too much and not letting them get a word in edgewise. If you wait that long, now it's going to start to make them question, well, what else aren't they telling me? What else aren't they saying? So when something is bothering you and you need to set a boundary, please do it sooner rather than later. And when you're telling people a boundary that's important to you, you're literally telling them what's okay and what's not. And if they do it after you've asked them not to, you can say, please don't do that. I've asked you not to do that. Remember, we talked about this. Please don't do this. And sometimes, and people have told me about this, they come up to me and say, I saw your video and this was so helpful, right? This is the part right here. Sometimes the boundary is to intentionally distance yourself from that person. Notice I said intentional, okay? Not just disappearing with no explanation. That's not good karma. That's not a boundary. I think there's a term for it right now called ghosting, right? It means you're telling them, we're honoring the boundaries that we set. I asked you not to do this and you keep doing this. So I think we need to have some time apart and reassess our relationship when you have shown me that you respect my boundaries. And then if you have somebody that, maybe you're a caretaker for your parents, or you have a teenager or a young adult living with you, right? And you can't just distance yourself from them for whatever reason, then you need to make sure that your boundaries are set time away so that way you can recharge, reconnect with yourself, and not just be dealing with whatever that they've been giving you. But in the end, you still have to draw boundaries to help you have more time and energy. So I said there was a second piece, and that second piece is energetically holding your boundaries. Boundaries are energetic as well. And energetically holding your boundaries means that you're not going to take on their energy. We just walk around. Empaths especially love to just take on others' energy. But there's an energetic exchange and cost to you when you do that. Instead, you imagine you're not letting their energy come into your field. You see it coming with their problem and you're like, nope, I'm not letting it come in. Right? I always talk about other people's energy as a comfortable sweater. It's their comfortable sweater. They want to carry that baggage. It is not your job to take that comfortable sweater and carry it. They're going to leave you and be like, where'd my sweater go? I want it back. Don't take on the energy. But you also don't want to put up an energetic barrier, as that causes more problems later. But when someone is pushing their energy onto you to sway you or because they're angry, don't let that energy come into you. Protect your vessel. And if you do take on their energy, you can imagine giving it back to them very gently. Okay? You just imagine like, oh, you were angry and upset and I felt bad, so I took that on. But this isn't my energy and I don't want to carry it. So I'm going to gently give it back to you. You're not going to do it in a mean way. You're just simply going to give them back the energy you took, like you'd give a shirt back to someone after you borrowed it. Now let's work on creating clean, energetic exchanges in our relationships. Don't take on their energy and don't give others energy for them to deal with. Okay? What boundaries are important for you to hold? These are the questions to ask yourself, since we're not working together, to see where you can use some boundaries. What are the things that my family and partners do that upset me? What boundaries can you set to stop this from happening? Do you feel like you're being taken advantage of by anyone at work or at home? What boundaries should you draw there to stop that exchange from happening? Do you feel like you have no time or energy to do the things that you want to do? You're getting a little irritated? You're getting a little frustrated? What boundaries is it time to set with your work schedule, with your family and your friends and your partner? Are there any other energy exchanges happening in your life that you don't like? How can you set a boundary here to make it better? Boundaries are a form of self-care that help you reclaim your time and energy. No one else can set them or enforce them for you. If you like this video, let me know by liking it, and I invite you to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I have a new video released every single week. I recommend you watch these videos as well to support you, how to quickly clear your energy blocks to get unstuck, and the #1 secret to setting healthy boundaries in relationships. Boundaries can feel hard to set with certain people, but those are your most important boundaries to set. These are the ones that are literally pulling on your energy and affecting you. Who is it time for you to set a boundary with for self-care? Tell me below.